sixth dimension beyond that which is known to man. A multiverse as vast as eternity, as timeless as the Infinity Gems. It is the middle ground between the big two and the indie publishers, between sci-fi and mysticism, and it lies between the pages of the reader's imagination. At the summit of entertainment, the dimension of comics, where a humble service is held. We call this service the Gospel of Comics.
Well, hello everyone, and welcome back to the Gospel of Comics. I am your host, The Church of Failure, and with me as always is my trusty co-host, Ayrton McCartney. And we are coming to you live today from the fantastic, beautiful asylum for wrestling, Minecraft, and comics, Los Cruces. Thank you, everybody. How you doing today, buddy?
Which is not in Canada.
No, it is in New Mexico. I don't know why you didn't know that. Maybe because you're not watching Los Cruces wrestling, and that's the worst.
No.
WWE can kiss my ass.
I saw the guy you were responding to something about Montreal, and I was just like, okay, I'm gonna make a crack at Canada.
Well, it could be like you did.
That was basically my mindset in that. Yeah. You know, I can't help it. It just, it's a natural reflex.
Is it though? I mean, is it?
Yeah. Well, when you grow up with Canada like a 40-minute drive away, you tend to, you grow up making fun of them. So.
Okay. Well, I hope everyone can hear us. Everyone can hear us, right? I mean, we had some serious audio troubles.
Hopefully.
Before the show, it is showing that I'm coming through on the Discord.
I pressed play. I'm listening to the stream, and it's really weird, and I can hear us.
Okay.
So.
All right. Well, shout out Novel Bro, Matt Christie, Chad Middleton, and thatRobDoe, who is actually here with us in the... there's a static noise. Of course there's a static noise. Oh, Jesus.
Is there?
Yeah. Yeah, there is on the OBS, because everything is fucking hateful.
Oh.
Let's see here.
His volume's low, really?
Whose volume's low?
Well, don't get him started, guys. Now he's gonna try and fix it live on the air.
Yeah.
It sounds like someone taking a shower.
It does. I can hear it.
Well, see, joke's on you guys. Church is in the shower actually while we're doing this show.
Right. That's how I do things. Well, yeah. Rob, if you want to go ahead and talk, I'm gonna fuck with the audio. And yeah.
Sure. How are we? Hi guys. Thank you so much for having me. Happy to be here.
Oh, thanks for coming on.
Absolutely.
Why don't you give us if you want to mess with the audio, I can take this for a sec. I'll try at least. So, if you want to give us a brief summary of who that Rob is.
Yeah, so my name's Rob Doe, real name, swear to God, and it's sort of a local joke, sort of an inside joke. A lot of people around town started going, that Rob Doe, because it sounds like though. And
yeah.
it caught on. I thought it was sort of funny, and so when I started setting up my handles online, I've been using that for everything. I'm an artist, I'm a musician, I'm a writer, a poet, comic creator, and just trying to figure out some goddamn way to get somebody to pay me for doing one of these.
Right? Oh man, I hear you. I've been trying to do that for 15 years now.
Yeah, that's the battle. In the words of NF, when I grow up, I want to pay my bills rapping about the way I feel,
There we go.
All right. How is that?
What kind of got you into writing comics? I know.
Yeah, it's interesting. It's honestly dual artist in the world, and I think that's apparent in the work. But I do love writing. I was working.
Sorry.
Whoa.
You're right. Oh God. Can I?
But I was was working on a new novel. I had an idea for a new novel, and
Okay.
that was going to be called "The Postmark Killer Returned to Sender," and I was working at it, but it wasn't working, and I had this nagging feeling in my head that this isn't a novel, this is a movie. That it needs to be visual. This isn't a novel, it's a movie, and I kept bumping up against it, writing my description and everything. Eventually, I said, "Well, I can't make a movie. I don't have the budget, but I can draw this fucking thing." So, I about 6 months ago had a pretty serious injury to my left leg that had me laid up for a good long while, and not a lot to do except binge Game of Thrones. So I said, "Hey, why don't we just try it?" And that's how it started.
Nice.
Hmm.
So, I mean, so short of making a movie, uh, so, fuck, I forgot what I was gonna say. Uh, oh, Church, are you there? Oh, I thought I heard him for a second. So I guess, you want to give us kind of like the the quick kind of like
Story synopsis type of
rundown.
thing.
Yeah, yeah.
Sure,
The
sure,
quick
absolutely.
synopsis.
Yeah. So, one of the things I've been reiterating a lot is that this is a mystery. It's a murder mystery, and because it's a mystery, I do want to keep things fairly mysterious. And obviously, having only one issue finished, and I still have pages to post. For anyone who doesn't know, I'm posting one page per day on social media. You can find me at thatRobDoe on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, all that stuff. I'm posting one page per day. So,
His Twitter should be in the description.
Fantastic. Yes. So you can book because there's a specific photo album where you can look at all the pages and sort of click right through them, which is nice. But yeah, so the first episode, first issue isn't even fully out, so I don't want to say too much about what's going on because it is a sort of mysterious thing.
Yeah.
But what I can say is that we are somewhere in the future in a fictional town called New Derry, USA, which is somewhere in New England. They're not quite sure where. And something has happened. It is not I don't consider it sort of a post-apocalyptic or, dystopian future or anything quite like that. But clearly some changes have occurred. One of the changes that has occurred is that much like if you've ever seen Demolition Man, there is the war of the restaurants and Taco Bell is the only one left. There's a similar trope where all the religions have gone away except Catholicism. And there is this sort of isolated town.
Assholes is what you're saying.
It could have worked out better, probably. But basically, we find ourselves in this place, and we're introduced to Arthur Lancaster. And Arthur Lancaster certainly seems like he may have been a cop or something like that in the old world, in order to give his townspeople a sense of normalcy and security. He provides a service, and that service is he's a detective. He will try to solve your problems for you. And in very sort of old school paperback dime novel detective story fashion, a beautiful woman shows up at his office asking for help. Her mother has died, and she believes that there is foul play involved. He takes the case, and basically we go from there. It's the story of him trying to solve the case of the postmark killer.
All right.
Well,
so
I can say you got me hooked with that.
Good.
Catholicism, murder mysteries, beautiful women. I mean,
it's all my favorite aesthetics.
What else did you want?
It covers it. Now as far as the case goes,
okay.
I can sort of lay out a little bit. I need to.
All right. Can you guys hear me now?
Of course, yeah. What I can tell you is what the woman reports.
Sorry, one second.
Sure.
You're really, really low right now.
I give the fuck up. I don't know what to do.
Oh, yeah. I didn't even know you were speaking.
Yeah. It looks like the only way I'm going to be able to be heard is this way. And then the static's in the background with the chat is bitching about. So I hate audio shit.
It is always a struggle, that is for sure.
We worked on this for like an hour before the show started.
Right.
Audio still doubles over. That's probably because I'm monitoring it. Cancel. Let's see. Advanced. Turn monitor off. And did I mute the stream? No. Is the stream not coming through now?
Let me see.
I'm still watching it over here. Seems to be running okay.
I have no
No,
idea
it's
what
coming
to do. Yeah, I have no idea what to do, guys. This is frustrating. Sorry, Rob. Like I said,
Oh, it's okay.
we've been trying to deal with this, and I
It
don't.
feels like the first 20 minutes of every D&D game on Roll20.
Oh, yeah, that seems good. I don't know if the chat can hear us or not. We hear you fine, just static. Yeah, I know. That's because I can't boost my microphone any other way.
Oh, Matt said it just cleared up.
Yeah, I mean, it's good for me over here.
I just got louder, but the static is still there. Like, I can still hear the static, so it sounds like I'm in a car, right?
I don't really hear much. There's just like it's very, very faint on my end.
Okay. Is everybody okay with the audio as it is? You guys can hear me fine?
I'm good with it.
The chat?
Oh, yeah, it feels good on my end.
Alright, and what about the chat? Can the chat hear me? I'm back to normal except for this hiss, yeah. I don't know how to do anything about that right now. It happens anytime you boost your microphone through OBS for whatever reason, and I have no idea why.
Weird.
And I can't be a part of the show if I'm fucking with audio. Yeah, roll the windows up, right. If I wasn't sitting in my living room, I would.
Who's that prick?
Oh, that's Matt. He's good. It sounds like the radio I dig.
Novel
Matt?
Bro
Fine.
says, yeah. Sounds like they're good with it.
Yeah, I'm going to have to deal with this later, but I guess we'll just kind of roll on as it is.
Yeah.
It's going to bother me. I'm not going to lie. It's going to bother me. It always does.
Oh, we all know it's gonna bother you. Let's just roll with it.
Believe it or not, it is actually raining over here, but you guys shouldn't be able to hear that. It's literally because I have to boost my
It's
microphone.
ice storming here.
Yeah.
But
Well, I mean, like I said,
I'm in a place where we've had non-stop ice, and I'm actually at 60 degrees today. So
Well,
we're having a
you
beautiful
lucky
day
bastard.
here
Ayrton
at scenic
basically
Manchester, New Hampshire.
Ayrton basically lives in Canada, except for instead of apologizing over there, they just murder each other.
Yes.
So anyway, I'm sorry. I was kind of out of your initial description there, but it sounds like, from what I understand, you had like the old dime detective novel inspiration,
Yeah.
and it was more
For
of an
sure.
inspiration for like a show or a movie or something like that, and then you eventually
sure.
led it down the line of being a comic book.
Yeah, I was telling Ayrton, it actually started as a novel. I was about 35 pages into a new novel, and I knew it needed a visual component. And what it really came down to is I don't have the budget for a movie, but I can draw. So
Well, yeah.
it was a let's make it happen kind of thing. And yeah, definitely heavily influenced by cartoons. My two favorite, Batman's animated
Aren't we all?
series and Gargoyles, are probably the two big visual influences in what I'm trying to capture. As far as this sort of dime novel thing, it was heavily inspired by a story called The DA Calls It Murder, which is the first in a long series of detective stories from way back. If anybody wants to Google that, fantastic read, highly recommend. But yeah, for sure, I'd say that was an accurate breakdown of the influence for the comic.
Okay. So how
All right.
Well, before we get into your story, there's a series of questions that I like to ask.
Ooh, fun.
Guests we have on here, and
Hit me.
they're fairly predictable as far as comics go. But obviously, the first one's going to be growing up. Were you reading comics as you were growing up? Was it something you got into adulthood?
Absolutely.
Or okay, so you've been reading
Oh
comics.
no, definitely an early childhood thing.
Okay.
I had this you know, a blessing and a curse. My grandfather is a collector, and he's obsessed with collecting, and so he would, always give me these collectible things. You got to keep this nice, and someday it'll be worth it. He's one of those guys.
Right.
And
they were
My
all
grandma's
liars.
the
comic,
same way.
Yeah, they were all liars.
every single comic he gave me, I opened and I read it, and every time he yelled at me, but he's such a great guy that he kept giving them to me anyway. And from a young age, I was getting all the Batman comics. That was definitely my favorite. When I read Frank Miller's Year One, I was in love, and I've never gone back.
Okay. So, what would you say would be your favorite like comic series or anything like that? Like your character, your series.
Kingdom Come. Kingdom Come is very close to my heart.
Alex Ross,
That's a personal
Mark Waid.
favorite. Correct. Yeah,
Yep.
Alex Ross's beautiful, absolutely beautiful rendition of Superman. Shazam, Batman, all that. I would say that's my favorite. But also high on the list, Frank Miller's Year One and Dark Knight Returns are definitely huge, as well as Frank Miller's Daredevil. All ranking probably my top 5 up there.
Well, I mean, that sounds about right. As far as I go, it's always been Alex Ross for me. As far as just mainstream comic artists and writers and stuff like that. He's
Right,
he's
yeah.
been one of the few artists that I always kind of seek after, like his autographs and stuff like that. I believe
Sure. Yeah.
I've got the entirety of Earth X and the zero issue of wait, flip flop that. The entirety of Marvels and the zero issue of Earth X autographed by him.
Wow. Yeah.
But
Sought after.
Kingdom Come has always kind of held a special place in my heart, and I've always thought that was one of the series that they could have definitely easily translated into like a show or a movie or something like that, and told the succinct story.
I know. Yeah, I'm still waiting on it. I want an animated film, and I would think it would be absolutely spectacular.
Well, I mean, it's one of the few that they could do without having to expand into a larger, universe of movies and stuff like that.
Oh yeah, stands alone very well for sure.
So, Kingdom Come would be your favorite series or story or whatever. As far as that goes, that would be your answer there. So, now, are you familiar with the Mark Waid controversy that's going on right now?
I'm only you guys, like I saw tweets and was focused on this, and what's going on?
Well, I mean, I can give you a brief rundown of it.
We like to take the piss out on him.
We do.
Quite a bit.
We do.
Sure.
Mark Waid, and I've said this multiple times over, because I don't like somebody or don't like the practice of something they've done, doesn't take away from their creative and artistic accomplishments, right?
Of course.
Regardless of how you feel about somebody, you can't take that out on their artistic or writing accomplishments. And Mark Waid has created some of my favorite stories. You can ask Ayrton. I have lauded personally over Kingdom Come in the past. I have.
Right. Yeah.
I have said 100 times over that everyone who reads comic books should read Irredeemable and Incorruptible.
Mm-hmm.
All of these are Mark Waid projects. Mark Waid Spider-Man
Yeah.
has always been interesting to read. But when you break it down, he is one of the critics of Richard C. Meyer, your boy Zach, on YouTube. Comics Matter with your boy Zach. Used to be Diversity in Comics. The guy that did Jawbreakers, I believe. Well,
Okay.
when he was just doing his videos or whatever, a big criticism that came his way was, well, you've never done a comic, so you can't criticize us for it, which first off, I roundly reject. As a lifetime
Absolutely.
fan, everyone can
I've
criticize.
never played professional hockey, but I criticize the Bruins every 2 days.
Well, I mean same thing with football and the Eagles. Like anytime they fuck up,
Right.
I'm armchair coaching like nobody's business. But
Right.
uh, anyway, so Richard C. Meyer doesn't have my view. He threw down the gauntlet and he said, you know what, I'm going to put a comic book out. And he did so, and then managed to get a publishing deal set up with Antarctic Press. Well, Mark Waid allegedly committed tortious interference with that deal,
Oh.
and cost Richard C. Meyer a lot of money, allegedly.
So he basically spoke to the publishers, or
Yeah.
sort of went past them and stopped
Right.
the project from happening.
Right.
Boy.
And there's an ongoing lawsuit regarding that. And, anytime Wade comes up, and especially within indie comics, I've always been kind of curious as to how people weigh in on that. Because, again, it doesn't affect us personally. And I don't
Right.
care where you weigh in on it one way or the other. You can be behind Wade and say, if he got the contacts and he can make the phone calls, then that's his prerogative. And to a certain degree, you do have freedom of speech, but obviously, if it is illegal to slander or defame or commit tortious interference and things like that, then Richard C. Meyer deserves his day in court over it. But that kind of
Yeah,
is,
I
is
mean,
where
I
it
would
breaks down.
definitely have to look more into it. I would have to look more into it before I could voice any opinion on it. I mean, I can say in general, I'm a free speech absolutist.
Right.
That's just where I stand, and I think it's important in today's climate to be that way. So, what I don't want to make any sort of blanket statements about something I'm not super
And that's
familiar with, but I would say, generally speaking, I believe artists should have full freedom to do whatever the fuck they want.
well, I think it comes into question, is this an issue of free speech or is this an issue of costing someone money because you don't like them? And I think that's
Yeah,
where
I
a
mean,
lot of the lines are drawn. And again, I welcome any kind of debate or anything on it, but when it comes to what happened between Mark Waid and Richard C. Meyer, it really kind of boils down to can you call somebody a white nationalist, and is that free speech when it can potentially damage them as a
Well,
as
yes,
a creator
that's
or
a
something
big
like that.
detail.
Right.
If that's what's being said.
Well, allegedly. Now,
That's-
again, take that at face
Right.
value. Allegedly, I wasn't there. I
Right.
didn't hear a recording. That's just what's been reported to me following the case. I'm actually trying to put together some clips from Nick Rekieta. He's been covering the case as it's going on. And a year after the case was filed, they're still fighting jurisdiction. So there has been no major movement in the case towards like discovery or anything like that. It's nail space in comparison through the system.
I wonder if he's doing that just to frustrate them.
No, it's not. Richard C. Meyer personally is moving slowly. Mark Waid, I think, is avoiding jurisdiction because if jurisdiction happens in Texas, they have a very strong anti-defamation and tortious interference policy. And if it actually makes it to a court in Texas, the general suspicion is that Mark Waid is going to get rolled over in the flour and poked for the wet spot.
Which would be entertaining. But he does have that super lawyer,
Mark
who's an
Zaid.
Esquire.
Right, the same guy that's defending the whistleblower against Trump. I like that Mark Waid's lawyer is Mark
you're
Zaid.
talking about
What now? You're breaking up a little bit.
Yeah, I'm having a similar experience over on my side.
Excellent. Now we're all on the same page. Everyone's having audio issues. Everyone can sound terrible, and that will be the entire show.
Yeah, it's consistency is what matters.
Right.
Exactly.
It's what the people want.
You know
And,
what you're getting.
when you tune into our show, you tune in for the audio issues and nothing else. But
And the bad puns. Come on now.
anyway, to kind of roll it back around to
Sure.
to the Adventures of Arthur Lancaster, where did the name come from? Obviously, the character's
out of
name is
nowhere,
Arthur Lancaster,
honestly.
but I just didn't.
Yeah.
I wanted to
Oh, you
curtail
mean
the smart-ass
the
answer.
title?
No, I mean the character name, Arthur Lancaster.
I was rolling around a few different names, and sort of asking advice from people, and just throwing out a lot of ideas, doing a lot of things. One of the names I had landed on was Arnold Lancaster, and I really liked it. There was something about it, but Arthur Lancaster's probably defining characteristic, if you look at the comic at all, is he's an enormous man.
Okay.
And the idea that I could have like a protagonist who's a big giant guy named Arnold just felt stupid to me. And so I adjusted it to to a very similar name, and there I was, Arthur Lancaster. I did wind up doing a little research just because I get nerdy about stuff like this, and I looked up the name Lancaster, and it basically roughly translates to something along a city surrounded by a wall, or like a walled-off place, a protected fortress. And I was like, man, that's perfect, and that was it.
Okay. So, I guess I've got the cover up on the screen here. I guess we can go ahead and jump into the book. Now you're doing this a little differently than a lot of people who do comics are doing this. You're releasing almost a page a day, if I'm not mistaken, correct?
Right now I am, correct. Yeah, I got one page a day going out on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, all that. So the first issue is done, and I'm going to keep posting pages until the whole thing is posted online in its entirety for free. So, absolutely. There are 15 pages in the first issue. I believe I posted page 11 today. Might have been 12. So there's like 3 or 4, more pages to come out in the coming days. And that's how I'm doing it for now, yeah. Okay.
Now, have you ever considered doing like a webcomic type thing as well, or because that type of release?
Yeah,
if you had like a URL where you released like a page a day or a page a week or something like that in a webcomic format, I've seen that done before. Like a lot of people will even break it down by panels, and they'll do like half a page in 3 panels or whatever.
Yep. Yeah, that's absolutely what I'm planning to do. I'm in the process of breaking the pages up into individual panels as their own images, and I found a great place where I'm going to be doing that. So all I can say to folks is if they follow me, I'll definitely keep them updated on my plans for that.
Well, we do have a question for you in the chat. How dark will the comic be? And they reference like Spawn, 1992. Todd McFarlane changed the way we looked at comic books forever by releasing Spawn, which is something that the Big Two would have never done at that time frame, even though the comic code had been essentially squandered at that point. I mean, you'd have things like Witchblade and stuff like that came about, but I'm not even sure that Witchblade even came about before Spawn, because that was
I don't know.
But that was completely and utterly unheard of in a comic book, as far as I was able to figure out. But I was, 92. I was 5 or 6 when Spawn came out, and my dad started buying it, and I started sneaking reading it while he was at work.
That explains a lot.
But
no, to answer that question, I guess that's sort of relatively speaking. I can certainly say it will not be as dark as Spawn.
Okay. All right.
I do want the comic to have a dark edge to it, but there's also a lot of light to it, and I think striking that balance is going to be important for the story to be endearing and personal, and all the things I want it to be. So actually, the pages to come, I'll just little sort of hint, no spoiler, little hint. Basically, the pages to come, the end of issue number 1, it'll take a very sort of bright, optimistic, positive turn for a second. It will certainly have a lot of darkness. He's a detective who investigates murder, so the story will certainly be dark. Nothing like Spawn, however, and because perhaps this is part of that question. And what that person's trying to get to, I'll also address the fact that while the comic certainly has religious themes and a character who's a priest and such and such. I will not be addressing those things literally within the world. You're not going to see any angels, any demons, any apparitions, anything like that. That it's not
No
a major part of the
stigmatas.
story in that way. Hey, well, that would be interesting. Investigating the case of the stigmatic, or that might, I don't know. Maybe I'll write that down. But because he could still solve it, and it could turn out to be a false case or something. But certainly don't expect any demons to come through any portals or anything.
Okay. All right. So you're definitely, the story is grounded in realism, and while there might be
Very much, yes.
while there might be like personal struggles with belief and things like that, you're not trying to tackle a supernatural element as well as a detective element.
Absolutely, yeah. I'd say that's a very accurate description.
So one of the fan favorites here in the chat, we occasionally do some old time radio shows, and do some playbacks of some stuff that's in the public domain. One of those things is going to be it's going to be the Shadow. You'll see that brought up a lot.
Yes.
So I'm guessing you're familiar
We
with
have
that
a lot
character
of
and that.
show memes related to the Shadow radio show.
Oh, very cool. That's very cool.
So with that said, and your enthusiasm behind your yes there, I'm guessing you're familiar with the character, and that type of story would have been more of an influence for something like this, or.
I wouldn't say it's a direct influence. I'm not super familiar, but
Okay.
definitely something I'm interested in that I've always thought was cool, that I've heard a little bit of, for sure.
Well, those old characters like the Shadow and Doc Savage and things like that have always kind of
Right.
intrigued me, because they existed before the actual era of the superhero.
Right, exactly. Yeah, exactly.
Critter Me Timbers in the chat, how's it going? There's a short spike of viewers there for a minute, so I figured I'd address them. Anyway, no, I'm not going to pull up all 11 pages on the stream. I want you guys to go check it out if it's something that you're interested in. Now, you told me off air before we started the show that you weren't gonna launch the Kickstarter yet. Have you launched a mailing list by chance?
No, but a mailing list would definitely be a good idea. It's not something actually that I was thinking about specifically, but that would be a great idea.
Well, it'd be a good way to keep in touch with fans and things like that. Keep them updated on the progress and keep people informed about when your project actually goes live. And one thing that we've
For
seen,
sure, yeah.
one thing that we've seen in the past with other crowdfunding campaigns, definitely is going to be the stretch goals and the add-ons and things like that. Have you got any plans for any stuff like that, or are you just going like with a bare bones comic at the first run, or what are your thoughts as far as your project goes?
Well,
Maybe you
Yeah,
should
I mean,
write a rap song.
I was going to get there. I was going to get there. I remember the rap music coming up, but we're not quite there yet. I haven't had quite enough bourbon yet to get on the
one
rap
of the
level.
advantages of one of the advantages of hip hop is I do so under an alias, and I would say will be minimal, if any, crossover.
You don't want to dox the old the rap alias. I understand.
Oh, by all means, it's Leonine.
Oh, okay.
But
right.
but, I don't see it coming in having any involvement.
Okay. All right. Well, I mean that's fair.
Well, I will say a project that we both backed that we're excited for is Galactic Rodents of Mayhem, and they have like a theme song, old like Saturday morning like action cartoon style theme song. So I wouldn't throw it completely off the table because it's pretty fantastic.
That is very cool.
It
Yeah,
is.
Absolutely.
It's catchy as hell too. Just talking about it makes me hum it in my head.
It really is. I know.
Galactic Rodents of Mayhem. Sorry.
Oh yeah, that already. I want my footsie pajamas and Captain Crunch. Like that already
Exactly.
brings me back. Yeah.
Wait, you're not already wearing them and eating Captain Crunch? That's all I do on these shows.
It's like I said, it's 60 here today, so footsie pajamas,
Yeah.
be a bit much.
But, all right. So, as far as the comic industry goes, what are your thoughts on current day comics? Like, you've gotten into the indie comics area of Twitter and social media, and from what I can gather, you're not a quote unquote veteran of Comicsgate or anything like that. Not to disparage you in any way or
I
whatsoever.
certainly followed it.
Okay, so you've been around and you've seen
I
it.
certainly followed the story.
Okay.
Oh, sure. Yeah.
So have you? What's your opinion on modern comics and how they're going, things like that? Like where do you see the comic industry? Let's just go off on that tangent, however you want to take it.
I have no interest in reading about female Thor. If I feel like that's what we're saying. No, I mean honestly, I feel a little bad in a way, but I think it's common among artists in general that I don't expose myself to much. There's a part of me, like I said, that feels bad, that thinks if I'm involved in this art, if I'm involved in this medium, I should know what's going on. I should be following things. But number one, I don't want to be overly influenced by other people's work. And number two, I think most modern art is shit. So I mostly, I don't read a lot of new novels. I reread Dostoevsky. I don't watch a lot of new movies. I like watching The Big Lebowski over and over. I'm that type of guy. I can't speak too much about new comics because, besides the sort of indie stuff and things that have caught my eye, there's nothing I would say I'm currently really following or excited about or anything like that.
Did you catch that? Did either one of you hear that?
What? Yeah.
What?
Well, that's just like.
Did you play the clip?
Man.
I did.
I'm thinking you played.
I did, but I don't know if you guys heard
No,
it.
I didn't hear it.
Oh man. I have to restart that too. Everything is awful as far as the audio.
Chat heard it.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, I have the stream up and it's muted so it won't echo through my mic. So I'm seeing it, but I don't necessarily hear everything that comes through.
Oh no, I tried to play it through the microphone as well, but I'm not sure that anybody else heard it. Yes. Maybe. Am I still coming through? Alright, I'm back. Can you hear me?
No.
Is that any better? Am I back?
Yes, it's still good on my end.
Okay, good.
How dare you?
There it is.
Okay, good.
I should be on the other side of the ocean.
No, I actually played the.
I agree with her on that. We don't agree on much, but I agree that she should be on the other side of the ocean.
I played this one.
Yeah. Well, that's just like your opinion, man.
Your opinion.
You were talking about the.
That's
the
what I
direction
figured.
will not stand.
It will not. Chinaman is also not the preferred nomenclature. Asian American, please, dude.
What if it's a man in China, though?
Well, what if he helped build the railroads here?
That's
It's not
fair.
the guy who built the fucking railroads, Walter. The guy pissed on my rug.
But so now, when you say that most modern art is shit, I would look at the recent Black Cat run, and absolutely agree with you. But I also have to take a step back and see stuff like, the Secret Wars 2015, East of West, some of the art in Joe Hill stuff. There's a lot of good art out there, and I've had to come to grips with this.
Oh, the key word is most. Yeah, all the stress on most.
I've had to come to grips with this as a critic of the comic industry, in the fact that while there's not necessarily a lot out there that interests me storyline-wise, a lot of that comes from the idea of the politics behind the reason the story's being written. The minutia of everything going on with the industry and the backstabbing and the fan hating and, the idea that somebody goes on a tirade. Like Dan Slott on Twitter, for instance, is notorious for just shitting all over the fan base and saying, well, maybe this comic isn't written for you. And I can just imagine Stan Lee turning over in his grave every time someone says that.
Right. Oh, for sure.
I'm surprised his ghost doesn't come out and just like dick slap him in the face.
Excelsior!
Something like that. Yes, while shouting Excelsior.
No, I agree. I mean, I come from a background. I spent 4 years at a liberal arts college, earning an art degree. And oh boy, that's a different podcast. But I certainly
Is
agree.
it though?
I mean, there's this sense. There's a sense that I remember a teacher telling me about a piece of work I'd done. That however intelligent you might be, your job is to entertain them, or they're never going to find out.
Right.
That they'll just put it down. It doesn't matter how correct you are morally, or how intelligent you are, or how well researched your points are. If it's not entertaining, nobody gives a shit. And I think it's important to make an entertaining story that has a moral, rather than trying to teach people your morals and using a story.
Oh, absolutely. I think that's why the meme that the left can't meme is so prominent on in the political sphere, because
they're very bad at it.
Right. The thing is, like, some of them are good. Like, I don't know if you're familiar with a show called The Kill Stream, but they recently held a debate.
I'm vaguely familiar. I wouldn't say it's part of my wheelhouse. There's a certain spiciness on Twitter, a certain level of edge where I might watch the way you watch a fist fight outside a bar, but I'm not exactly jumping in and throwing punches.
All right, well that's fair. That's where we all start out there. And I'll trash on them a lot. Destiny for one, Bronx Blogger for another, are two like hyper leftists that are pretty respectable in the sense that if you call them out, they will show up. They will show up and they will actually debate their points with you, and they will stand behind their convictions.
Unlike one person.
Like Comic Book Hut?
Yeah.
Is that who we're talking about?
People's Champion. The People's Champion.
I'm still on his profile, by the way, watching and screenshotting.
Anyways,
it's an ongoing feud. It's not been directly culminated
that
yet.
He doesn't know about?
Yeah, I don't know. Well, he does, because he shows up and dislikes my stream anytime I put him in the title.
True.
But he won't come on the Discord. He won't talk to me, and I just want to be his friend, Rob. I'm not a bad guy. You've been here for 45 minutes.
Well, you heard it here first, folks. We're just looking to make friends.
That's right.
We just want to ask some questions.
I just wanted to take a seat. Was
that a Jesse Ventura?
That was. That was.
I'm here to ask the real question. Oh, God.
Say the word, Churchy, and I'll go full
Jesse
WWE.
The Body Ventura.
Can we just elect him
He ain't
president?
got time to bleed, but he does have time to run for governor.
What's stopping him from running for president?
Elect him president.
You wouldn't?
There's worse options. There are worse options.
True. I want him and Ted Nugent to run on a ticket together.
Oh man!
Oh,
yeah.
Who's getting the VP slot? Like
Ted.
Who's
you got to put Ted in the.
No, they're
VP.
both president. They're both president.
I want Ted Nugent to be the first lady.
Which that would be the only reason I would possibly want to see Hillary win, just so I could say Bill Clinton is the first lady.
Oh, we were all looking forward to it, but then we saw Epstein.
No, God!
Yeah.
No, God,
right.
please, no! 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 No!
How wrong we were.
Somebody said Hillary
This
is
might be
president.
too much power for you, George.
Oh man, but anyway, getting back to it. What what made you decide to go into designing a comic instead of doing a novel or doing a script?
Question. I can mostly hear you.
All right, let me. All right, how about can I? I think there's a tornado outside my house, so maybe that's coming through.
That's probably it.
But anyway, when it comes to doing a detective story, you mentioned that initially you started off with a novel, and I know you talked briefly about deciding to just draw it as a comic because it couldn't be like a screenplay or anything like that. But what was the thought process behind doing that? Like, where did you go from I'm going to make this a like a written piece of prose to the comic art form with the audio, or not audio, but with the imagery and the the text?
Yeah, it was. I mean, it was definitely a process by which I came to that decision. But a lot of it was I actually had a pretty serious injury to my left leg, injured my Achilles tendon, and I was just sort of laid up, and couldn't do a whole heck of a lot except for watch Game of Thrones. And so I had a lot of time on my hands, and that was most of it, honestly. It was, just something to keep my mind occupied, to keep my hand occupied, and something to work on. I used to draw, and back in high school, I drew little comic strips and all things like that. I had sort of a little running story of this magician who was a superhero and yada yada. But I hadn't drawn in a long time, since college, really. So like I hadn't drawn in almost a decade. And it just took the injury. It took having a lot of time on my hands and being bored as shit is really what did it, honestly. As far as how I made that decision, like I said, it was something where I was seeing it as like a movie or a cartoon, but I'm incapable of making a movie or a cartoon, so it just seemed like a natural thing to do at the time. And like many other things, once I started doing it, I found out I liked it. And, you keep doing things if they bring you joy.
Yeah, I mean that's pretty much the only reason to do anything is that it makes you happy, and you think it'll make other people happy. I think that a lot of people get away from that, and they start to chase money, and they start to chase fame and fortune, and they forget that having a drink with your buddy in front of 15 or 20 people, depending on the audience. But
that's basically how I described the show before we went live. When you
that I bring up some topics and invite you to weigh in on them with us.
No, by all means, go ahead, hit me.
All right. Well, we've got a few things over in the live show suggestions and the suggest stories area. First off, there are some vintage movie posters that were hand painted for their African release that I was looking at earlier, and these things are magical. They have apparently become very sought after high art pieces.
Yeah, I saw Chad posting those in there. I didn't actually click on the link yet.
Oh man, apparently there's a CNN link here. All right, we'll copy that because I'm not signing into Twitter on here. I'm not revealing my my power level to Comic Hut.
Can we show the Mrs. Doubtfire one?
Oh, absolutely.
On stream? I don't
Yeah,
know if we can. But
I think we can.
It's fantastic.
I think we can. It's on CNN, so I think it's fair game. But
okay.
I'll put the link in the bottom of show suggestions if you guys want to pull it up and kind of go along with me while we go through it on stream. So that's what I've got pulled up. Let me know when you're ready to start looking through it. But basically,
I'm already looking through it.
Yeah, they didn't get like official movie posters in Africa for movie releases. They had hand painted posters, and some of them are just absolutely fantastic.
Oh,
Oh my
Alien
gosh.
versus Predator is hilarious.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to pull them up
This is great.
in a side window and just pull them up. But yeah.
Oh, dude, Chad, this is... Oh, what a great fucking find, man.
Isn't it?
This
Isn't
is
it just,
amazing.
yeah, isn't it just fantastic?
Wow.
Man, okay, have you guys... I don't know where you guys are at looking through these, but the X-Men one...
I haven't seen X-Men. I got so caught up on the Jurassic Park.
Yeah, we're gonna pull that one up. I think
yeah,
that's
these
gonna
are,
be the.
These are.
Sister
That is
Act
certainly
pretty good.
intense.
Wait till you see Mystique's nipples on the X-Men one.
Oh man, can we actually
So-
pull that one up?
I don't think
I'm not
I don't think
seeing
we should.
the X-Men one.
All right. Well, there's a Jurassic Park one for
Well,
everyone.
I'm
I like the
I'm
dinosaur.
scrolling through the Twitter
I,
thing.
I like the dinosaur lassoing the person
Twitter
on the
link that
toilet.
Chad-
That's just fantastic.
Well, let me pull up the actual CNN link. Gross. I don't want this on my history.
Oh no, it's the Twitter timeline that's what I've got pulled up now because I'm just following.
Oh.
I'm pulling up different ones from the Twitter post. Mission Impossible. Mission Impossible. I just didn't know that they let Dick Masterson star in that movie.
Batman.
Oh yeah.
Apparently he forgot his shark repellent for that poster.
Yeah. Mission Impossible is pretty great though. I'm looking at that one. I'll pull up Batman next.
White chicks.
Ghost Dog: The Way of the Samurai. That movie holds a very special place in my heart. But
I can't say I've ever seen that, and I'm kind of disappointed in myself.
well, it's nothing like the African movie poster.
But based on that poster,
It's
I want to watch it.
Are you familiar with Jim Jarmusch? He did a movie
No.
called Coffee and Cigarettes.
I don't know if the question extends to me, but he's one of my favorites.
Oh, so you know Coffee and Cigarettes and Ghost Dog then?
Oh, yeah, Coffee and Cigarettes is a masterpiece.
It is.
Ghost Dog, I don't think I've ever given full attention to.
Well, Coffee and Cigarettes, I mean, you just kind of won a bunch of points in my book because I got a bag of items for you, Bill
Oh,
Murray.
sure.
Bill Murray.
I mean the scene where Tom Waits and Iggy Pop confront one another about their music at the jukebox.
They didn't have
Tom
anything
Waits
of yours on
playing
the
his
jukebox
daughter.
either, asshole.
To this day, I cannot watch that without silently laugh crying. Like I have like a mini face seizure every time I watch that scene.
Oh, we're being called to pull up the E.T. one.
The E.T. one.
Yeah.
Oh, did I miss that one?
Alien.
I see the Jurassic Park one. That is glorious.
Here we go.
It's spectacular.
Oh no,
That
that's
is
Ghost.
fantastic.
That's not E.T. That's Ghost. Indiana Jones, Sister Act. Oh, let's pull up Sister
Did
Act.
you guys see Sister Act?
That's what I'm gonna pull that one up next.
Because that's great.
I would watch that movie.
Did someone mistake Whoopi Goldberg for E.T.? Some sort of, some sort of miscommunication.
In our chat, probably.
It's understandable.
Hard boiled, Ghost Dog, Predator, Under
So
Siege.
I didn't actually.
Where's E.T.?
I didn't actually read anything about this. So
Well, here it is.
so basically, the artists were just given like were just given the title and they just had to paint something? that
No,
they
because
thought would
obviously
work?
they figured out like some of the actors and. But in the late 80s, mobile cinema business were burgeoning in Ghana, bringing film screening to villages and rural areas without theaters or electricity. These makeshift video clubs were usually made up of diesel generator, a VCR, and a TV or projector loaded onto a truck. They would travel around the country showcasing Hollywood and Bollywood blockbusters as well as West African films. To attract viewers, these video clubs needed to advertise their offerings, but they didn't have the original movie posters or the means to print alternatives. The country's military rulers had restricted the import of printing presses. So they made their own, commissioning local artists to hand paint them using flour sacks. They were large, usually 40 to 50 inches in width and 55 to 70 inches in height. The posters have since made ripples in the art world, with the early originals commanding high prices. The works are famous for their garish, exuberant style, full of muscles and blood and exaggerated features. They were designed to sell movie tickets. It was about getting people through the doors. So the vibe was really to try and make each poster as unique as possible and not to mention as crazy as possible.
Hey, the proportions are better than Rob Liefeld.
I
so-
mean, let's not. Oh, man. Let's look at Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. How about that?
Isn't that one fantastic?
I don't even know what the fuck is happening on it. It makes me so happy.
Me either. Oh, let's see. Chad posted that.
Did he
That's
post the
where
ET
the
one?
ET and Michael Jackson comes from? He did.
Oh, that one
Okay,
can't be real.
There's no way
That
that's
can't be.
real.
You have like a face hugger, like there's.
Like I've
It's
seen
like-
like the ET and Michael Jackson thing before. There's no
Oh
way
my
that this
gosh.
one's real.
It
Where did he
can't be. I
post
mean, There are
that?
15 things happening here. There are Christmas wreaths.
Oh,
I
he-
think that. Oh no, those are the eggs
the live-
from which the
live
face
show
huggers
chat.
spawn.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, he's got that.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, the face hugger eggs in there. An ET probing one on
Holy
some dude's face.
I'm tattooing this to my back.
Dude,
Nobody
I'm
steal
tattooing
my
this on my
fucking
ass.
idea. That is spectacular.
Holy shit! I mean, there's
Michael Jackson,
some sort of
E.T.
African-looking name out here. I don't even know what's going on in this. This is amazing.
Looks like I need some DMT to understand everything that's happening.
Pull that up, Jamie. Can you pull that up?
I like the
Okay,
Scarface.
Chad, can you like send LSD through the Discord for us so we can understand these posters?
Oh man, one last one before we move on to the next story. I have to pull it up because it reminds me of Scarface, even though it isn't Scarface. The Halloween 3 Season of the Witch.
Oh, let me get to that.
It's the one right above Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles on the
Resident
Twitter
Evil.
link. The one right above Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
Oh, there we go.
Is that not Scarface?
Gosh.
That is great. What's with like the skeleton, like the person, but with just a skull?
Oh wait, I did lie. There is one more that I have to pull up. We have to look at the Mummy.
Oh, yeah, that's a good one.
You know, Alex.
That
We
would go.
didn't know that Alex Jones was in the Mummy, but he was.
They're turning the freaking frogs gay.
And the Scorpion.
Put
They're
chemicals in the water.
I don't like them putting chemicals in the water that turn the friggin' frogs gay.
I actually, you know, we're gonna get personal here for a sec. I want to share something very personal, which is that
Go for it.
a close friend of mine for my birthday sent me a coffee mug, and it's a frog with Alex Jones' face photoshopped on it, and it says the frogs are gay.
The frogs are
And
gay.
I don't even use other mugs anymore because they're inferior.
They are. They are. That one actually comes with natural male vitality in it.
It does, yeah. Yeah, it's
can
got the
feel
silver
your
built in,
testosterone
so that
Yeah.
boosting
so that you can
every time
ingest
you drink
silver.
coffee.
Right, the colloidal
correct.
silver.
Yes.
Yeah. So.
I never seem to lose weight, but I'm getting tanner. I hope somebody gets that reference.
Now, there are a couple of more stories that we can pull up and get into. I don't know how much time you have. I don't want to take up your whole evening.
Hey, I'm open.
Okay, sounds
I'm
good.
open.
All right. Well, we usually go for about an hour and a half or 2 hours. So let's see what we got
Sure.
here.
Yeah, fantastic.
The next thing we've got on the marquee of sorts is breaking. Kristen Bale is reportedly in talks to join Taika Waititi's Thor: Love and Thunder. Bale is no stranger to superheroes.
Oh, God.
And he has played the most popular version of Batman in Nolan's trilogy. The film hits theaters November the 5th, 2021. Now, real quick, what else was really popular on November the 5th? I seem to remember an English holiday where they celebrate
Guy
a gentleman
Yeah.
who attempted to blow up Parliament but was betrayed by a bunch of cucks. Guy Fawkes Day.
He's betrayed by cucks.
You want to get around the lowdown of your anniversary?
What now?
You want to give Rob the lowdown of your anniversary and why you chose that date?
Well, because I know of no reason that anyone should forget the 5th of November.
Ah, yes. Genius.
Yeah.
Genius.
I just wanted something that I could remember, and well, back in the days of Anonymous, you never forgot that day after V for Vendetta came out. Now, unironically,
Right, yeah,
using
absolutely.
a Guy Fawkes mask in 2020, that's cringe. But
Very. I would say so.
but
Yeah.
Okay, even back during those, like all that shit was going on, even then, wearing the Guy Fawkes mask was a bit cringe.
now
Oh, sure. To be fair, it was never cool.
well
No.
here's
There
the
was
question though.
there was a time when V for Vendetta was cool, and it was before that movie came out.
Now here's the
There
question.
were 9 people who knew about it at my high school, and that would have been the time to have the mask. But
Here's the question.
once they
though.
sell
Who
it
do
at
you-
Spencer's, it's
Who do you guys think is they're putting Christian Bale as the character of in Thor?
oh,
In the
what's
Thor
the
mythos. Thor: Love and Thunder, the new Thor movie. Who do you guys think that they're gonna have him
that is
cast
what they're-
as?
Wait, hold on. I feel like I need to hit a pause button. Are you telling me that's confirmed the name of the new Thor movie?
Love and Thunder?
Yeah.
Love
Yes.
and Thunder?
Yes.
Yeah.
I mean, is Bruce Springsteen pissed? Or
No,
like,
they're gonna bring
Um,
Natalie Portman back and give her a hammer. That's
my God.
that's
Oh,
confirmed
oh,
as of
gosh.
that's confirmed of San Diego Comic-Con last year.
Wow. Yeah, I mean, I all I'll say is I can say I jumped off the bandwagon a hot minute ago. I believe the last Marvel film I saw chronologically was Doctor Strange.
Well,
Um,
I mean, you can still give me an idea of who you think Christian Bale might be in the Thor universe, though.
who I think he would play.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm trying to think.
I mean,
Who would he be good as?
I had
I'm
the
hoping a
inside
bad
scoop.
guy.
No, I have the inside scoop on who he might be, though. So I don't want to weigh in. But before I pull that up, I wanted you guys to have a chance to talk about it and maybe give me an idea.
I could, if they're gonna go like do some sort of weird retcon and go like full comic continuity, I could see him playing like the actual alter ego of Don Blake pretty well.
I'll go a step further.
You know, because he's
and
kind
give-
of scrawny and you know.
I'll give Rob a hint. is somebody that people that like Thor movies have been asking for a long time.
Beta Ray Bill.
Well, fine, just fucking ruin it for him.
Oh, sorry.
No, that.
Well, did you hear the disbelieving tone in my voice?
Oh no, that's the idea. Is that's being thrown around is Beta Ray Bill is the character that they're casting Christian Bale to be. They're just gonna give everybody a fucking hammer. They're just gonna give.
Shouldn't they call this Thor Stop Hammer Time at this point?
Thor can't touch this. But they've been teasing.
Taika Waititi.
Well, they've been teasing
He can pull
Beta.
it off.
Well, they've been teasing Beta Ray Bill for a while now, and they did a big tease for Beta Ray Bill in Ragnarok on the Collector's World, or not Collector, on the Game Master's World, because there was a statue for Beta Ray Bill on that planet.
Yeah, there was like the huge face on the tower or whatever.
And I can kind of see it.
Really?
Yeah. I mean, look on the screen.
Alright, hold on, let me go back over.
Daniel in the chat says Frog Thor movie. I would rather see a.
I would love that.
I would rather see a Thor core movie from the Secret Wars 2015 group.
Well, yeah, because it's Secret Wars.
Fuck you.
We can't go an episode without bringing up Secret Wars. Come on.
How dare you?
I mean...
Stolen my child. I'm one of the lucky ones. I made it out of church.
All of my 6 Gorillion friends died.
That quote goes deeper than you realize, because the reason I made that Secret Wars joke is that goes way far back into Church's childhood.
It does.
So that's why.
It
That's
does.
why
I
we
guess.
were laughing so hard.
I guess I can tell the story though.
Yes.
Secret War, like you talk about Kingdom Come. The original 1987 Secret Wars is that for me. And then Secret Wars 2 in 1992 was so much fun because it was the first comic book series I was ever allowed to collect with all the tie-ins. So anytime I saw something with the Secret Wars 2 tag on it, I knew my dad would buy it for me. And then shortly after my father passed away, Secret Wars 2015 came out, kind of, marking the birth and the first year of my first daughter's life. And I collected that entire 252 issue run. And
That is very cool.
yeah, Secret Wars has always kind of had a special place in my heart. I'm one of the few people that kept the number 8 issue even though it tanked in value. That Black Suit Spider-Man book that used to be worth $300, and when it went down to $200, everybody sold them off. Well, I bought a couple of them around $150 a pop, and
Oh wow.
yeah, and I didn't sell them even though they went all the way down to, I think right now they're like 60 a piece in decent condition.
Oh wow.
But I was just like, worth it.
Sure. You got to play the long game.
Right. No, it's not
I
about.
too like to live dangerously.
Well, it's not about the value of it to me. Like I didn't sell.
Right, of course.
I didn't sell my Spawn number 9s when Angela got sold either. Like those things shot up for a while. I've never considered what the value of my Alex Ross autographs are because I don't care. I'm not trying to sell them. Like it's not about the money for me. It's about the actual collection. But yeah, Secret Wars is that thing that just kind of holds a very special place in my heart.
Sure.
I like how Ayrton puts a screenshot from a story we covered last weekend, like a day before we cover it, and I never saw it. Fantastic. Good job, buddy.
Wait, what did it?
Rob
what did I do?
Liefeld You put a screenshot of Rob Liefeld losing his mind, and then I came in with the full story.
And yeah, and then we covered it. Yeah.
Now
You just now noticed that?
Yeah.
I posted that forever ago.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I don't get through here a lot. We only do 4 shows a week. Come on, calm down. I'm gonna post this in the show suggestion link if you guys want to get it queued up. That's what we're gonna be looking at next. It's a
Which one?
It's a memology video, the one at the bottom.
Oh, okay.
It's Twitter turning everything into a hug box.
Alright.
Let me know when you guys got that queued up.
Okay. Alright. I'm ready.
Rob, you got that pulled up and ready?
I do, yeah.
Oh my god, why is it not loading for me? Okay, cancel, interact, pause. Why is everything awful?
This is the most innovative marijuana.
Nope, you don't get to play a marijuana ad on my channel. You're not paying me. Alright, so at 00, let me know in 3, 2, 1, go. Alright, I got it paused at 121 here. I just kind of want to look at a couple of the comments that just came through talking about that new echo chamber change they're making to Twitter. They're basically making it like a Facebook post, right?
Yeah.
Like,
From what I know of Facebook.
yeah. Well, you know, you can just private everything and nobody can see it unless they're on your friends list or you're following them. It's basically everybody is now in protected mode.
Well, it seems like it gives people the option. From what I'm seeing here,
Right, but
that it's going to offer like sort of several options that people can post on there.
yeah, but I mean, what's the point? I mean, the idea of Twitter is this an open forum discussion. You're basically taking away that option.
Yeah.
Like,
Oh, sure. I mean, it's denotative or carnotative. It's a question of how honest do we want to be. But I think we all know what the point is, right?
right, like,
The point is to get me to stop going at Nancy Pelosi on Twitter.
right, and you know,
My fault.
or me
And-
and what's his fucking name? That ignorant David Hogg, that piece of crap.
Oh,
Like,
that little
yeah,
Quad.
yeah. I have real life friends that give me a hard time about shitting on him on Twitter, and I'm like, but you don't understand how insufferable this prick is. Like, they talk about
He's
Sandman having a punchable face. Look at this asshole. Look at him.
He's like if a 10-year-old was allowed to use Twitter on and get like a national platform for everything.
Right. Critter Me Timbers in the chat says it best. If you decide to go on public social media, then suck it up, Buttercup. Otherwise, don't bother. Like,
That's very true.
you know, you signed up for the account. You put yourself out there. The consequences are yours.
And
Otherwise,
and she should know. You should see the memes that she posts on Twitter.
Well, the thing is, like, otherwise, well, tell her to follow me. I'll follow her back. She comes with your recommendation.
Yeah. Yeah, go give Church a follow.
But, here's the thing, though. If you put yourself out there, and let's say the Wall Street Journal doxes you, or Hot Wheels doxes you for ass pats, somebody like that. Well, they'll just say, oh, well, it was public information. I didn't do anything wrong. And technically they're right. So when you put up a stupid fucking opinion, and I say, no comics explain, that was dumb, you should shut your fucking pie hole, or, excuse me, Rob Liefeld, stop being such a goddamn goober.
And draw some goddamn feet.
Right. Then, that's just tit for tat, right? But now it's not. Now it's just, oh, well, I'm just gonna make a statement that no one can reply to. And that statement's gonna be that comic book artist that I don't like is a sexual harasser. And now they can't defend themselves on my post, even though my post might get 1,600 impressions, even though there's no likes or retweets anymore.
This has always been the formula. That, if the New York Times does a story that I'm a murderer, and a week from now they're forced to recant, it'll be on page 7 somewhere halfway down. Oh, sorry about that first page story we released a week ago, but how many more people saw the front page than read page 7 a week later? How many people even remember?
Right.
Right.
I mean, this has always been the formula, and what I see is that it's an ongoing issue in society that's being played out in the media and, of course, on social media as well. But there is a certain idea that the right to have an opinion means the right to not have it challenged, and that's not what that fucking means.
Absolutely.
It's not what it's ever mean.
And that's on both sides.
That it's okay to stand in the street and stop ambulances from getting by, then your opinion is stupid.
Right.
You're allowed to have an opinion. Go back into your living room and sit on the couch, and you can have an opinion while you sit there. Your opinion of standing in front of my car, I think that's sort of how things play out. Is people don't want their ideas challenged because they find it unpleasant.
But
that's all well and good, but those people maybe shouldn't be on Twitter.
Well, in fairness, though, and I don't know if Memology specifically cherry-picked these responses, but you see a bunch of people talking about, oh, this should be exclusive only to minorities, to see this in a more positive light. It looks like a great way for communities like the LGBTQ/LMNOP community to be able to shield themselves from abuse without being set their account to private, which is exactly what I said in the beginning. Like, everybody's automatically going to be to private when they want to say something fucking stupid. Like, oh.
And we should know that they're going to play that hand before they play it.
Well, let's take this.
They're not representing these people. That they use them as pets and pawns. And I mean, frankly, we're living in a society where it's 2020 and we're walking backwards, wondering whether or not we need segregated dorm rooms because
Well,
so. I think in a weird way that's what they're doing. They're regressing, and they want to put us in a more in separate places. They want to segregate social media like they want to segregate everything else.
They want to stop dissenters
divide
from
and
being
conquer.
No, they want to stop dissenters from being able to say no, you're wrong, and then have people agree with them. They want to stop ratioing.
Right.
And the reason ratios exist is because people disagree.
Some people are morons.
Yeah, like the idea of a ratio should tell you, oh, well, maybe 1,000 people like my post, but these 40,000 comments are all negative. And maybe I should think about what I said and approach it in a different light. Now, let's take this into account with, like, the minor attracted person community, the MAPs.
Oh, don't get me started.
Oh, I'm getting you started. Let's take this into account with that community. What's stopping them from making a quote-unquote statement that age is just a number and normalizing that kind of rhetoric?
Or fucking Shank Uger and his fucking
Animals consent.
bestiality comments.
Animals will consent if they come to fruition.
Right.
You know, those kind of ideas are now going to be able to run unopposed because they'll be put out as statements. Whereas anybody with a set of testicles is just going to continue to use Twitter as it was meant to be, and that will set the stage for people with, you know, the quote-unquote wrong opinions to be dogpiled, while people with the quote-unquote right opinions will move to a format of, oh, well, you know, you can't contest my statement because it's a statement. And that's going to shrink the
Because
uses of Twitter.
I'm a disabled person of color, trans midget, and, you know, my opinion trumps yours.
I didn't think Cripple Jesus was on the show tonight. I'm just joking, Cripple
No,
Jesus. We love you.
it's we're moving into scary territory there for sure. I mean,
Yeah.
that's a whole big topic. But yeah, it's very concerning. I mean, yesterday I'm sitting with a good buddy of mine, and we're watching Star Trek on a popular streaming service. I'll just say that. And one of the commercials that came up was about
BitTorrent,
two
BitTorrent streaming, right?
clearly. I was watching, one of the things that you pay monthly for.
Okay.
I mean,
I'm
I pay
watching a
monthly
streaming
for my
service
internet
that-
to use BitTorrent.
But
Sorry,
I
I
was
don't mean to
watching Star
interrupt.
Trek with a friend, and
Church
a
giving no
commercial
fucks
came
tonight.
on. Yeah, a commercial came on where there's two young girls who seem to be very early adolescents, you know, that are talking about exploring their buttholes. I mean, that's a direct quote. I'm not
What?
trying
Wait,
to...
wait.
Wait a minute! Wait a minute, Rob! No! No, Rob!
I mean, I'm watching Star Trek, and then it's like I'm subjected to this. You know, it looked like a live action version of Big Mouth, you know, and which is disgusting enough, not involving, you know, children actors. But I was just looking at this, and that is the world we're living in, unfortunately. So this idea that, well, if Twitter does X, Y, and Z, we're going to wind up in a world where this is normalized. Unfortunately, I got news for you. Twitter could fuck off tomorrow, and this is still going to happen. I mean, you know, you made a little reference to the sort of LMNAO acronym that we now have to represent the homosexual community, and there are many people who include pedophilia or minor attracted or however they phrase it in that giant, you know, acronym. It's very concerning. It's very concerning.
Do you guys remember the good old days where Pedo Bear was a meme?
Oh, I remember.
I
Would
do
send
not
to
know
people
what
when they
that
were being
was.
creepy?
I do not know
Like,
what
what
pedo bear was.
Oh no, you weren't on.
Did Owen Benjamin come up with that?
No,
Is
you
that
weren't
one
on
of the
the
bears.
No, you weren't on the 4chan. You had to have been on the 4chan to
No.
know about that.
No, I avoided 4chan like the plague.
Nah, man, that's
yeah.
where it was. You
I
had
was
to be
too
on the
well
4chan.
informed about it.
No, you had to be on the 4chan. I used to be a KGB tard back in the day. But no, and that's the real black pill, right? Is that it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Like, it doesn't matter what platform it is. All of it's going to basically lead to that inevitability.
Now wait a minute, Matt! No! No!
You're getting drunk with power with that.
It's so good. I'm getting drunk on bourbon. The soundboard is, but no, I had to add that one on the fly. That one was just too good.
Yeah.
To super chat him to have him say Rob, because I say Rob a lot on that one. No offense, RobDoe.
Oh, that's all
yeah,
right.
not to you. It's to Rob Liefeld.
Usually.
Right.
Who we secretly think is Lube Man from the new Watchmen show.
Secretly
Ah.
think. I'm like 97% sure.
Well, we should finish this video. We got about 2 minutes left in it, so I'm gonna go ahead and hit play at 121 right now.
What the fuck? What? Huh? I guess I got sniped? Jesus Christ. And it's, look, it's this fucking stream sniper. Oh, here we go. Griefing. Yeah, perfect. I got to report him. I didn't know you could report. Nice. There's actually a report system. Who knew? The people, you know, they prey on people like you, like me, because I'm the kind of guy that just wants to relax and have a good time and, you know, be easygoing. And these fucks are like, oh, look, here's someone who we can push around now because he doesn't have a posse, you know. And these fucking assholes who they feel so wimpy and bad about themselves that they have to try to find people to push around and bully.
Ah, Dark Side Phil. He's gonna outlive us all, boys.
Can we press F for Dark Side Phil?
Why would we press F for Dark Side Phil? He's doing better than any of us will ever do.
Because he exists.
That's fair. That's fair. Now,
Okay.
I do have to extend an invitation.
Dark Side Church win.
I don't think you want me to turn on my webcam for that, guys. Now, I don't know if you know, Rob, but a few members of the Discord know that I am going to embark on my first D&D adventure in a couple of weeks for the first time in like 15
Yeah,
years.
I had dropped a comment in one of the things you tweeted about it. Yeah.
So I'm going to extend an invitation to Mr. Larry Bernard, a.k.a. Karasoff, to see if he wants to join the call and talk D&D. Because right now, from what I understand as of last night, we have no idea what kind of adventure we're running. We have no idea what kind of campaign we're running. All I know is that we're going to have a healer and a bard. So I can pretty much be whatever the fuck I want to.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm thinking I'm going to be a kobold wearing a costumed beard. Vow of Poverty monk. I'm going to have to work it out with the DM where my costumed beard isn't a piece of unnecessary items. But outside of that, I'll just give up all my claim to treasure and everything else and just beat the shit out of everything because my God loves me.
Yeah, that certainly sounds like an interesting character to play. The first character I started playing when I started playing is a cleric who works under the goddess Melora, so sort of a similar thing there, and they are great characters to play. It gives you a lot to work with and a lot of fun stuff that you can get into.
Let's see here. Copy. So this is the point in the
Chad
show.
Middleton Church is going to be a furry?
Cobalt, Scaly, 5E, Captain Weeb. Hey, Mrs. Church, how's it going? Our son just screams into his headset, "Why you kill me?" Yeah, he's playing something. But here we go. I just dropped the Discord link into the chat, so if you want to join into the Discord and call in, jump in, and join into the waiting room, we'll pull you in. Anybody is welcome. But we're gonna do 5E. I've been playing since 2E. I think was the last time I played, but that was, like I said, 6 years ago, or over 16 years ago. So, you know, I really have.
Yeah, I'm still fairly new to it. I jumped into the game I started with about 4 months ago, and we only played once every 2 weeks, and then just recently jumped into another campaign as I've started to learn more and get better at the game. So it's still pretty recent for me, and I've only played 5E. So.
Well, that's pretty much cool. how this campaign is going to go, and from what I understand, 5E is so different. That, you know, from the old school, like, apparently multi-classing is pretty terrible now.
Yeah, not something I've ever tried. I know they did change the system by which you get your attributes. You get to remove your lowest die and things like that. So they tried to make things maybe a little more accessible or easier in terms of character.
Wait, does that mean you get to, like,
also
multi-roll and all? Well, we're going to be using, like, a point system for our stats instead of a roll system, so.
Oh, okay, yes, yeah, that's an option too, for sure.
But, like I said, I literally have no idea about what to do, so I'm thinking, because, you know, a lot of people frown on the, "Oh, that's so random" archetype, and I'm not trying to just be random for random's sake, but I like being absurd characters. Like, one of my all-time favorite things that I did in 2E was I was a very acrobatic and agile orc.
Interesting, sure, yeah.
Like,
I can't even like comprehend that in my brain.
Well, one of the many things that I did during that long campaign was so I wanted to legally watch the Mando. I'll make sure I know who this is. I'll have to DM you after the show. DM you after the show. But anyway, nobody dies ever. Weeb, DM me. We'll talk about it, because I'd love to get a campaign going with the chat and with the Discord. So DM me on that. Did Rob drop out? Did Rob die? I think Rob died. God damn it, Rob.
Uh-oh.
Now wait a minute! No! No!
I was on point, man. Like, you can't.
You know, just for shits and giggles, I watched that stream, that like animated version of the stream the other day, because it like popped up in my suggested feed.
Yeah, suit yourself.
Yeah, I was like, what the fuck?
Hey, you're back. Rob is back. Back again.
Yeah.
Hey,
Lost you there for a second.
now that you're back in, Ayrton, I have something very important to tell you.
All right.
You're fired.
Wait, somebody else got fired instead of me?
No, that was for you.
Oh, God. Did you hear the excitement in my voice, people?
for one fleeting moment.
I could never fire a guest, Ayrton. Come on now. But no, one of the...
wasn't there one guest? Didn't you almost fire Weeb when he was on?
He's not a guest. He's a recurring co-host. Deadman and Weeb are both returning co-hosts. Like, they don't count. I can fire them. Same thing with Novel Bro. I can fire him too. I'm surprised none of you have started firing me yet. Like, nobody said you couldn't.
But you run the stream. I mean, you know, if I fired you,
I'll just turn it off. It's fine.
Bullshit. Yeah. And I don't know how to pump this through my mobile, like, streaming stuff that I have, so I can't do this on my channel.
But anyway, no. One of the fun things that I used to do when I was fucking around in D&D 2.0 was with my agile orc. I jumped out of a window and stopped a running opponent, like a running encounter, by landing on top of him. Like, I got hurt in the process. I lost half my hit points and needed to be healed. But we avoided the entire encounter.
That's fantastic.
Like, it completely fucked the DM's plan because it was supposed to be like a 2-day encounter. And we just skipped the whole fucking thing, and he was just like, well, I didn't expect that to happen. And that's where my love for playing.
I'm not sure there's any greater joy in D&D than seeing fear in a DM's eyes. That is, because I'm like, if any of my games went like that, you'd be a fucking disaster, you know.
Well, that's the thing, because that's why I want to play some kind of absurd character. Like, you can play a Dragonborn and like half races now. I'm reading up on it. I'm going to talk to the person running the game and figure out what the limitations per characters are, what kind of, you know, what kind of juju we can put on our own characters and whatever. But I really want to play something just outlandishly absurd. Like, I don't want to be evil and backstab the whole party. Sure. I don't want to be like true neutral and just not give a shit about anything. Like, yeah, I'm just going to wait outside while they go and fight the encounter.
Right.
I'm going to let them clear out the dungeon because I'm not sure where my alignments lay yet.
Okay,
Right.
So my headset died. Can you guys still hear me okay?
Yeah.
I can hear you.
Okay. I had to go grab my headphones. So...
Hey, where were they made?
China.
Donald Trump don't trust China. China is asshole.
I don't know if you knew, Rob.
I can listen to that on repeat.
We have a man on the street in China, so he occasionally pops in.
Good. That'll come in handy.
He's kind of a one-trick pony, but you know.
Right. Well, I feel like if you have a man on the street in China, the first thing you should do is tell him to get off the street. I don't know if he's been paying attention to the news, but it might be hostile territory that he finds himself in.
So.
See, but that never happened.
No.
So, I think they'll be okay.
Right.
Oh God, we have somebody named Mr. Kill Everything, so my at everyone's get fucked up now.
What?
There's someone named Mr. Kill Everything, so I can't just type every into the chat and get an at everyone.
Oh, gotcha. So, I'm a horrible nerd. I've never actually played D&D.
Well, you're about to.
I've always been curious about it.
I think I'm gonna get Weeb to DM a game, and that'll be good. We'll get Weeb to DM the game. We'll set up some characters. We'll do a run through on the channel. I'll DM the next game. You get an interview with superheroes going, Ayrton. Oh yeah, how's the interview with superheroes going? Have you found any? Or wait, no, he's got to get his car in order first, Chad. Give him a second.
Yeah.
The Virgin Ayrton has to get his car running before he can interview superheroes, Chad.
So, Rob. In case you don't know, there are people that actually put on costumes and will go out and like fight crime, at least here in Michigan. And there's a few that are pretty a couple, like an hour or two drive from where I live.
Wow, yeah.
So I'm gonna see if I can track them down and try and get them to do an interview on this show.
Wow. Oh, what a fabulous.
That would be fantastic.
That
Yeah.
sounds amazing.
Yeah, that would be fantastic for me.
Great.
I would love
so
it.
One of them is retired, but
His daughter
apparently
isn't.
his daughter, and I think his wife/girlfriend. Hold on, let me pull up his wiki.rlsh, which is reallifesuperheroes.net.
Oh my god.
So his girlfriend and daughter are also real life superheroes.
Look, straight up. Straight up, I will make it my life's mission to commission comic books for these people. I will make it my life's mission to commission comic books for these people. I will crowdfund it. I will advertise it. I will get everyone that likes the idea behind it, and I will get the best artists and the best writers on these books. We'll do anthologies. We'll have a line. They'll get proceeds. We'll do marketing and merchandise. It'll be great. We'll actually make superheroism a thing, Ayrton. We'll make people want to be superheroes.
I'm kind of curious. I might dig farther into this and see if this is like a thing anywhere else. Because there's like quite a few people in Michigan that do this shit. I don't know if it's just because Michigan's kind of a shithole with like our cities.
Well, it is basically Canada, except for the apologies they get murder.
Yeah. So, I don't know. This might be a thing where I might go down a rabbit hole with this one. So hold on to your butts, folks.
As long as you're not late for the show, that's basically all that matters, right? We'll send you some actual reporting equipment. We'll get you a microphone and shit. We'll get you a cameraman down there. We'll have some live on the street reporting.
I'll wear like a jacket and tie and do like pass the microphone, but I'll do it backwards. Like I'll hold it to my face when they're talking, and then
once we cross
their
over
face when I ask them a question.
Once we cross over like 20K, I'll get Kyle Ritter on colors. It'll be great. Actually, that brings me to.
Weed says he backed the project.
Well, that actually brings me to another question. You said you've been involved in Comicsgate at least from an observer standpoint, right, Rob?
Sure, follow it like any other story. I certainly would not say involved, but
well, you've
spectated.
Spectated. That's a good word.
Yeah.
Have there been any projects that you've backed or been interested in backing, or have enjoyed and received, or anything like that?
No. I mean, honestly, no. Like I said before, there's part of me that feels like I should more. The other part of me, there's the sense of not wanting to be influenced, in the sense that something needs to interest me first. I can't say anything specifically in terms of like this is something I really support right now, or like I said, I mostly reread old Dostoevsky books. It's more my.
Well, it would kind of fall.
You do feel like an asshole, when somebody asks Johnny Depp, what movies do you like, and he goes, I don't watch films, and you're like, oh, shut the fuck up, But I just feel like I got to be honest to some level.
Oh,
it's like I could
absolutely.
name current comics, but I'd be lying if I said I was supportive of any.
Are you familiar with Monster MD?
I know what it is.
I would dig into that one, because I think it might actually scratch the surface of one to get go. It wasn't getting to know the creators. It wasn't the hype behind it. It wasn't the controversy. It wasn't the amount of backlash it received. It was the merit of the book itself. On both of those projects,
sure.
yeah. But and that's something. Like, Galactic Rodents of Mayhem, like, it has nothing to do with the detective angle, so I'm not sure that one would scratch your interest. But Monster MD...
But it is fantastic.
Well, yeah. Absolutely. But Monster MD, think House. Have you ever seen an episode of House?
Yeah.
That's how I kind of
I've
take
seen every.
Me too. Like,
well,
1,000 times
that's
over.
Yeah, it's actually interesting you say that. House, as everyone should know, if you have a discerning eye, is a pretty direct tip of the hat to the Adventures of Sherlock Holmes, which is also what inspires my comic. So
Holmes
he's
and
being
Watson,
inspired
House and
by
Watson.
a thing that's inspired by the thing that inspires my comic. Yeah, exactly.
Holmes and Watson,
Holmes
House and
becomes
Wilson.
House, Watson became Wilson.
Yep.
Yeah.
But no, and
there's
absolutely.
even there's a reference in the show. I believe it's around season 4. For anyone perhaps listening who's maybe going like, "Oh, really? Is that what that show is?" There's actually a fantastic scene. I think it's somewhere in season 4. The team goes to Wilson and they're trying to get some information about House, and he goes on this long diatribe about how House was once in love with a woman named Irene Adler and blah blah blah. And then the team goes, "Are you serious?" And he goes, "No, of course I'm not." And and they pressure it. But there's a couple of direct references throughout the show to kind of let you know, like, yes, this is on purpose. It's not a coincidence.
Yeah, absolutely. And the opioid addiction as well.
Yeah.
What did you just link?
Right. Oh, sure, yeah.
I don't trust your links, Ayrton.
Oh, that's Captain Jackson, the real-life superhero.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Well,
decided to throw that in there for everybody if they want to check out who he is.
Oh, wow. I have that same mask in a different color.
We don't need to know about your private life, Church. See, but it's awful in like the.
He's wearing a onesie, for fuck's sake. What kind of belt is that? What are you doing? Capes are stupid. Take that shit off.
Hey, capes are fucking cool.
We have 10 concurrent viewers right now. Why are we getting more viewers while we just kind of ramble on? I don't understand this.
What is wrong with you people?
Exactly.
I mean,
what are you trying to watch here?
I mean, we can keep going. I mean, Rob, you're more than welcome to stay or,
disassociate yourself with the podcast.
You guys tell me,
No, you're good, buddy. We've got Captain Jackson up on the screen now. He's a real-life superhero from Jackson, Michigan. He has retired. Captain Jackson began patrolling the street downtown Jackson in 1999. Holy shit, that was 20 years ago.
Yeah.
Look at his fucking... Oh, God. He appeared alongside Phoenix Jones, Purple Rain, and Thanatos. An episode of Dr. Drew's Life Changers in April 2012. Oh, fucking shit. This is fantastic.
I remember the Phoenix guy. I remember that story coming out.
Yeah, I saw that. In fact, didn't Stan Lee talk to some of these guys? Let's look at Phoenix
It's like
Jones
a younger black guy, and he had like a nice costume, if I remember correctly. Like he was pretty legit.
Yeah, he's got pouches and shit. Rob Liefeld would be proud. Holy shit.
Yeah, so he's retired now. So I don't know if we can be able to talk to him, but like it says on there, his daughter and girlfriend are both affiliate real life superheroes.
That is a worthwhile endeavor. I would certainly watch a series of videos interviewing real life superheroes.
I would buy his comic books. That's what I would do.
There's also a Fat Batman.
You gotta link me to the Fat Batman. Link me to that. We'll pull it up. Now, before you do that, I
All
did
right.
have one more thing that I wanted to get to before the end of the show.
Okay.
Make sure there's nobody in the waiting room here. There was a tweet put out by DC Comics earlier today. I don't know if anybody saw it. I went on a little bit of a tirade about it, but anything we don't get to tonight, we'll get to tomorrow, guys. Don't worry. If you put something in Jest Stories, we will get to it. But it's at the bottom now, so you guys can see it. I'll pull it up on screen for everybody else. Let me know when you guys got it pulled up. It's just a tweet from DC Comics. And I'm just going to bitch for a minute about it and let you guys weigh in. So let me know when y'all are ready.
Okay, well, Fat Batman is underneath that.
Okay. But the tweet says from DC Comics, and it is the verified DC Comics account, so... Today marks 85 years of bold action, sensational adventure, and daring detectives. What are you... And he used my fucking emoji. What are your favorite DC memories? Now, first off, does anybody here know when DC Comics was founded? I do. It wasn't 85 years ago.
But
it was
I take it was not 85 years ago today, however.
No, it was 1977. See, 85 years ago today, DC Comics was still national publication. It wasn't even national periodicals yet.
Ah. Okay, right.
They hadn't merged with Superman DC Comics yet to become national public periodicals. They were just still...
Well, it's like saying, when did the artist formerly known as Prince release his first album? Well...
Right.
Right.
But...
Depends.
But here's the thing. They're advertising Detective 27 Action Number 1, Squadron... what was it? Sensation Comics and Justice League of America Number 1. And those books all happened at different points during the timeline. But only 2 of them were actual DC Comics. Well, actually, only 1 of them were. Because the Justice League of America was in the Silver Age. Because Hal Jordan was Green Lantern in that book. Alan Scott was Green Lantern in the Golden Age of comics. And that's when Action Comics and Detective Comics
Who had a cape.
Yeah. But a purple cape, by the way. Maroon, green, and purple outfit.
What a color combination.
And his weakness was what?
Wood.
Goddamn
he was
right
homophobic.
That's your mom's weakness too, am I right?
Got him!
Should have said that with the Sean Connery voice.
That's your mother's weakness as well, Trebek.
Got him!
Anal bum cover. For 400, please.
I laugh so hard every time I see that. I don't know why.
Such a classic.
But I
it's so
love
classic.
that.
That's
So
S
good.
words, not swords. Oh, stick it up your ass, you dago wop bastard. What did I just say about ethnic slurs?
The best episode ever was, the best one ever was when the question is, where are you? And Sean Connery wrote indoors. And he's like, oh my God, I can't believe it. You actually got a question correct. What did you wager? And it illuminates, and it doesn't say indoors. It's like the top of what it says is I love boobs.
Yep.
It's like, what did you wager? And he hits it, and it says I love boobs, and he just starts laughing with a Scottish accent.
Sean Connery Sean Connery is a national treasure.
I don't remember the rest of the joke, but your mother's a whore.
Yes.
Ah, rough. Just the way your mother likes it, Trebek. But no, the thing is this is a small part of a bigger problem, right? In comic books, they like to do what they call false anniversaries. Does anybody remember a couple months back where they did Marvel Comics number 1000?
Yes.
Okay. Well, there was no Marvel Comics number fucking 1, right? Like Marvel Comics is
that's a solid point. Yeah.
Yeah. So what the fuck? Like, oh shit, novel bro. Scottish Randbot in the chat.
I'm looking for the shells.
No, just look at.
Wait a minute. Who else is in here? It's just you.
Yeah.
Okay.
Anyway, I'll leave you to it, lads.
No, you're good. You're good. You can hang out. I mean, we're testing our
Novel
podcast.
Bro had a great comment earlier. I had mentioned how back in high school, the first comic I fooled around with was about a magician who was a superhero. And he wrote, "A magician who's a superhero. I had no idea you wrote Passion of the Christ." So, I just want him to know that, yeah, I saw that shit. I was laughing.
Yeah, he's a character on this show. That's right.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Well, we actually just kind of sectioned off Randbot as an archetype. I don't. Again, it's
from
a
the kill stream.
Yeah, it's a kill stream reference.
Oh, okay.
Here we go. I got it. All right, give me just a second. Oh, you guys go ahead. You guys go ahead. Yeah. What do you think about these like false anniversaries and these? DC Comics has only existed technically since 1977. So what fucking anniversary are they really celebrating, right?
I can't say I have strong feelings about it. It does certainly seem disingenuous, disingenuous marketing from a certain perspective. At the same time, I don't believe I'll start foaming at the mouth anytime soon in regards to this particular topic.
Look, I don't judge me. You don't
there's
understand.
so much to be angry about in the world, and 16 of those things are running for president. So I can't get upset about false anniversaries at the moment.
What, you're not going to vote for Pocahontas?
Look,
I would. Is she running?
Elizabeth Warren, yeah.
Great movie. Oh, Pocahontas. I must have misheard you. Yes. I tell you what. I got to compromise. I'm gonna. She can have 1/1026th of my vote.
There you go. That's the way to do it. Novel Bro, get back in here.
Yeah.
Wherever you are, if you're still in Discord, get back in here, Novel Bro.
I'm just gonna pull him in.
You can't. How are you gonna pull him in? He's not in a stream. I gotta ask him politely.
Well,
to
I
get
sent him an invite.
Yeah, get him back in here. I need him in here. Until then.
But no, I mean, as much as I enjoy your rants, it's just stupid that they do it. I mean, no. Your average kind of like mass consumer that they're marketing this shit to at this point isn't going to know any better. So it's just a ploy to get them to try and buy.
No,
shit.
it is. But
right
again, here's
they're probably.
Oh wait, you're back, Novel Bro.
There we go. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
You could, but then I said, no, wait.
Yeah, here you go. This is just for you, buddy.
Everybody shut up! I have an erection!
Blessed bite.
Just for you, man. But no, it's not about the rants. It's not about anything besides the fact that DC Comics is roughly 30 different companies that have merged into one another over the last 85 years. And they're celebrating that, except for the fact that they're not celebrating the fact that 85 years ago, national publications opened their doors and created the way for Action Comics and Detective Comics and Sensation Comics and the Justice League of America. They're not celebrating what they should be. They're celebrating 85 years of Superman and Batman and none of those characters are 85 years old. The oldest of them today is Batman.
I do feel
or Superman rather. Sorry, go ahead.
I do feel like we would need to allow the devil his due here a little bit. I mean, seeing this on the screen here, today marks 85 years of bold action, sensational adventure, and daring detectives.
Right.
End of sentence. And then, what is your favorite DC memory? So, it's not as if they said today marks 85 years since DC began, which would be objectively untrue. What they did is sort of, a bit disingenuous.
Misleading marketing.
Yes, yeah.
Absolutely. But the thing is again, look at these covers. Which one of them has an actual...
Absolutely.
Which one of them shows DC Comics?
Right.
Is it the sensational comic thing over here? Does that one have actually DC Comics in the header? It does. It does. Nope. It's NC. You know why? Because that's National Comics. A Superman publication. No, that's DC, but still. There's issue 1 of Action Comics with the National Publications. Detective Comics was put out by a completely different company that was bought by National Comics around issue 12. By the time you got to the Justice League, DC was an actual publication. But again, you already got Hal Jordan Green Lantern, you've already got Barry Allen Flash, you've already got Aquaman, Wonder Woman, Martian Manhunter, Superman, and Batman under this umbrella. But your oldest superhero is still only 82 years old right now. Maybe 83, depending on his publication date. I don't know off the top of my head. But Superman's 82, 83 years old. And these motherfuckers...
Yeah, and that's the original gangsta.
Right. Like, why don't you promote some of your comic books that you can't fucking reprint? Like, that's a question. You can't reprint most of 1 through 26 of Detective Comics, or 28 through 35 of Detective Comics, because of the anti-Asian fucking propaganda in them, right? That's just not acceptable in today's day and age. But
exactly.
But you're so proud of your original printings, all right? You're celebrating an 85th anniversary. Why don't you just celebrate a 50-year anniversary on 2017 and a 60-year anniversary on, 2027? Like, maybe take a step back.
Bankrupt by then.
Well, maybe take a step back and realize where you came from you're not so proud of. And because you don't think that people can take a fucking joke or understand that certain mediums were printed in certain time frames, like, at what point in society are we going to reach a point where it's not acceptable to punch Hitler anymore? Because that's where we're headed.
It's never acceptable to punch my daddy Hitler.
God damn it, Novel Pro.
Alright.
Oh boy.
I get back!
He doesn't mean it, Rob. But, no, he does. No. But.
Am I allowed to mute him?
No.
I do remember, I couldn't tell you exactly, you'll probably know better than me the source of this, but I do remember as a child having a big hardcover book, and it was a collection of a lot of the early Batman comics compiled together in a sort of chronological order, and one of them had him shooting Dracula in the face with like a literal
revolver. A revolver, yeah. That's what Batman used to carry in Detective Comics, yeah.
Yeah. Shot him in the face.
Mm-hmm.
You don't get that anymore.
No.
Right?
No. They turned Batman from a gun-toting detective in a mask into Adam West, back into the Batman that we're a little more familiar with today. Then they cucked him again for a little while, and then they turned him back into the Batman.
Don't knock Adam West. Some
not.
days you just can't get rid of a bomb.
Look, sometimes you get your fucking bottom legs bit off by a shark because you forgot your shark repellent.
Well, don't leave home without your shark repellent.
But
come on.
The thing is that Batman as a character started out as a gun-wielding psychopath, essentially, and ended up as a psychopath that hates guns. But
right.
Thank you, sweetie. My 4-year-old just sweetly brought me her cup and then ran away back to bed. Because she knows she's not supposed to be awake. Hell, I'm not supposed to be awake now. What are we doing?
Yeah, I'm not supposed to be awake either.
Do you have church in the morning, Ayrton?
Yeah, in the
No.
UK, 20 to 5 in the morning. It's okay, lad.
Yeah, it's all good.
Yeah.
We'll just, we'll sit
Don't
down.
you guys say, like, wouldn't you say, like, 40 past 4? Isn't that how you say it?
Probably not. No, 20 to 5 would usually be it. But then again, I don't know elsewhere. Might be a bit more backward elsewhere. I might need to go to my hometown to find out.
Ayrton, did you just did you just try and correct a foreigner on my stream?
How dare
I
you?
was just asking.
Proud of you. I'm proud of you.
Sorry, I'm used to talking to Irish people because my sister lived there for like a year and a half, and they'll say like 1:30 or half one or something weird like that. I don't know.
Well, that's just before they bomb
being
you.
pretentious has no nationality.
Yeah, that's just before they bomb you.
Crosses
Ayrton.
all borders.
I mean, that's the difference between the Irish and the Scottish.
No, not Northern Ireland. Ireland, like, there's a difference.
Daddly diddly dee.
Now, I think we'll wrap it up shortly, Rob. But first off, before I do, you said you don't read a lot of modern comics. If there is one comic book you could suggest to our audience that they should read, besides your own, of course, which I'll put the link in the description afterwards for the Facebook.
Thank you, yeah.
What would you tell them to check out? What's one thing that you think? I mean, you've mentioned Kingdom Come before, but what's one thing you think that people haven't read that they should?
Well, honestly, this probably won't apply to your audience. It seems like your audience is pretty well knowledgeable and follows these things maybe even closer than I do. But I would say in general that everyone needs to go actually read The fucking Watchmen because it's one of the greatest graphic novels of all time. And I don't know how many people are going to get to take turns fucking it in the mouth, but
here's
the original the original story is spectacular, and I think we should all go back and appreciate it for what it was.
We've actually read the original 12 issues and reviewed them on this show, and I have personally went through and read Doomsday Clock, and I have to say that Doomsday Clock is the sequel to Watchmen that I would have preferred to the television show. 100%. I'd rather have Doomsday Clock than the show.
Yeah. That's certainly interesting.
It was written in a similar fashion.
Got me interested.
Well, it was written in a similar fashion, even though it didn't have Alan Moore involved. Dave Gibbons was still involved. It had all the extrapolatory material at the end of the issue that the Watchmen had. You were introduced to ideas and side stories in that extrapolatory material, and there were like little bits of seeding of the final story in the first issue that if you went back after you were done, you would catch. It was all in all, hands down, probably I read all the before Watchmen shit, and that was all garbage. Like, I hate to say it, but all the before Watchmen stuff was trash in my opinion. I'm ashamed to own it. I'm ashamed of taking up closet space in my boxes. But if I could trade before Watchmen and the Watchmen TV show for Doomsday Clock, I would.
I would trade the Watchmen TV show for herpes.
Fantastic. I love it. Like, don't hold back, Ayrton. Tell us how you really feel. I mean, Loop Man being the only redeeming part of that show. Yeah, Loop Man being the only redeeming part of that show. Go ahead. Just go off, King.
I mean, you know, if they would have made the show about Loop Man and him trying to become part of the Watchmen, I would have watched the shit out of that. But goddamn, you know, it would have been more comfortable to get a colonoscopy without being put under than watch that shit.
Wait, they put you under for your colonoscopies?
I mean, Rufy's count is being put under, right?
I don't think that's an actual doctor you're seeing.
I mean, maybe not, but he's cheap, so.
Well, so are you, but that's not the question at hand here, sir.
Yeah. I don't have insurance.
Well, anyway.
And now that we've made our guests completely uncomfortable.
I mean, he would have left like an hour ago if that were the case. I mean, I'm pretty sure he would have left as soon as I started asking him about Comic Gate shit if he was uncomfortable. Come on now.
You know, fair.
It seems par for the course.
Well,
you know, Comicsgate, back alley colonoscopies. I don't know if you can really equate those two.
No, but I think there's a sense today where it wouldn't matter. You know, if somebody can show up and say, "Hi, I'm a shoe designer. I make shoes," and people would go, "How do you feel about lesbians?" Like it's it's the world we live in. I used to do stand-up comedy, and I had a joke where I said,
Wait a minute. Comic books, rap music, stand-up comedy. You got to stop being so talented. Like, you got to save some of it for the rest of it.
I never said I was good at any of these things, Church. But I am on.
Neither did we, but what I'm saying is you at least did them.
I am on a sort of mission to do everything. But I used to have a bit where I said...
All right, well, I'm going to back up towards the wall real quick. Sorry, go ahead.
I had a bit where I used to say, it seems like everybody's talking about Muslims. People are either very pro-Muslim or very anti-Muslim. Either way, every discussion we have seems to have something to do with Muslims. Today I turned on Facebook, there was a bunch of pictures of cats, and I wondered, what the fuck did they have to say about Muslims? What did they get in trouble for? You know, that you can't even look at like a picture of a cute cat without going, how does this relate to Islamic Jihad, the LGBTQ community? You know, I mean, so I think it is sort of par for the course. It's, you know, there's a sense to which I think everybody wants to, you know, hey, man, like, this is what I want to talk about and whatever. And it's like, you know what, there's a sense in 2020 where it's like, you know, it's all on the table. And this is the nature of
that's life, yeah.
Societal conversation we're having, yeah, for sure.
Yeah, absolutely. Now, before we...
those cats want us dead.
I mean,
every time I think of cats, I think of General Tso's chicken, but, you know.
Delicious, yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Couldn't agree more, yeah, fantastic.
Extra spicy.
Yeah.
You want extra spicy?
and I do feel personally that my comic has certain political implications anyhow, you know, so I expect to discuss that going forward. I mean, I don't think it's overtly political or pushing any particular party or anything like that. Certainly not.
Right. So you're telling me
when you get into issues of religion, morality, life and death, the death penalty, all these different things that, you know, are being addressed in one way or another in the comic, then these are topics that, you know, I need to be willing to discuss, right? You don't write X-Men and then not talk about racism. We all know what the fuck it's about.
Well, I mean, you're telling me that your book isn't a reprint of Trump's Space Force? I'm out. MAGA, 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 MAGA. That's all that sold me on it. You know?
Yeah, so when you get to the 15th page, it's just the Gospel of Matthew.
Oh, well, then I'm back in. Yeah, that seems
in
good.
Latin.
Just,
yeah, from the Latin Vulgate, though, because Deus Vult, you know.
No, but the thing is, you have to change it to the Gospel. You have to change it to the Gospel of St. Leonard. St. Leonard is the guy. What was he, like the patron saint of horses, thieves, and unborn children.
Wow, is that true?
I think so. Yeah. Yeah. Saint.
Yeah, it's something weird like that.
Yeah. I used to wear a
That's
Saint
interesting.
Leonard pennant. Leonard.
Just like the Romans have, like, it's like, I don't know, like Steve, the god of bread or something stupid like that.
I thought that was
Well,
you.
yes, the Catholic saints are often sort of respected with a sense of patronage in regards to something specific, like Saint
Yeah.
Francis. for example.
What is it? The patron saint of political prisoners, imprisoned people. Hold up. The patron saint of political prisoners, imprisoned people, prisoners of war, captives, women in labor, as well as horses.
So
Wow.
Australia?
And the feast day, get this, is November the 6th. Holy shit. He is definitely my saint.
That's very interesting.
Yeah. Well, I used to call him the patron saint of criminals, essentially. Criminals,
Yeah,
babies,
sure,
and horses.
sure.
And I always wore a St. Leonard pendant because, well, I mean, I might as well have been a criminal. Not that I've ever done anything illegal, chat. Never.
Oh, no.
I'm a good boy. I didn't do nothing.
I've done my cripple thing.
Yeah. Yeah, Novel Bro did all my crime for me. But anyway, before
for life.
Yeah, before we get off of here, tell the people where they can find you. Tell the people what you're working on, what you're planning on doing in the next couple of months. About the mailing list that you've decided to set up on this very podcast.
yes, absolutely. I'll be getting on that. Well, I want to say thanks. Thank you so much, for having me on and allowing me the opportunity to talk about this a little bit and just to chat with you guys, get to know you, and talk to your audience as well. You guys can find me at thatRobDoe. It's DOE, just like John Doe at the end. At thatRobDoe, and you'll find that on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, Snapchat, fucking Reddit, Discord. It's all the same. It's thatRobDoe. You can find me anywhere. Facebook
Gab.
is the best place. I'm not on Gab yet. Facebook is the best place to find the comic right now because it is in its own photo album, so you can sort of like click through and like a little ebook, which is nice. But I'm also posting it one page per day on Twitter, Instagram, and all those other places, so people can follow me there as well. I am planning on having this printed up, doing physical copies, and I see somewhere down the road maybe I'll wait until I've told the whole story of the Postmark Killer and like put together a graphic novel. At that point, you'll probably see an Indiegogo or a Kickstarter, something along those lines. In the meantime, I just ask that people follow me, support the project, and you'll be able to see all the art as it comes out. And that's the best thing you could do for me right now, and I would really appreciate anybody that takes the time to read it. And of course, please also like, share, subscribe, and write comments. Hit me up because I'm always into conversations. I want to talk to people about these things. So definitely also encourage people to just sort of reach out on a personal level and see what happens, because I'm going to be as surprised as anybody. My old writing teacher used to say, if the book doesn't surprise you, it won't surprise the reader. So I'm trying not to plan this out too hard. Like I said, it is a mystery. I want to keep it mysterious. So let's go on the adventure together, and we'll see what happens.
Fantastic.
Absolutely. Now, how do you...
on the Discord server as well.
Yeah, absolutely. How do you feel about coming on Monday for a D&D stream with Larry Bernard and...
Oh, gosh. I would love that. I believe... You know what? Give me a little second here, because I believe, actually...
If you're available.
That...
And by the way, in case you don't speak Scottish, Novel Bro said stay on the Discord as well.
Oh, absolutely.
So.
Yes, absolutely, Novel Bro. It's very ironic, and I just had to double check. But actually, my next D&D game that I'm playing is Monday night, so I'll already be playing D&D, unfortunately.
Oh, okay.
With a different group.
Well,
but I would love to do that at some point. I would absolutely, whether it's a one-off or whatever.
No, we'll just be
I'm
talking
always down to play
D&D
some D&D.
Well, what we'll be doing, we're not going to be playing D&D. We're going to be talking D&D and trying to figure out what the fuck kind of character I should roll and what kind of... Because that's the thing, like, I love these guys so much in my chat and in my Discord that I basically let them make certain decisions in my life, which is probably a big mistake.
No, absolutely. Yeah, if it's something I can make happen, I'd definitely like to be involved. This Monday night, like I said, I will be busy, but maybe it's something we can make happen going forward.
Oh, absolutely. Just give me a holler, and we will definitely do that. But I'm going to try and get a D&D stream together 10 p.m. Eastern Monday night to midnight. So if you become available, let us know. But
yeah, I think it's looking like our game is starting a little after 11, and we do tend to kind of end up postponing it. That shit never happens on time. So if you're starting at 10, I would say I'd say I could do that. You know, maybe I would have to leave maybe at some point, but I could be there for a while, and always down to chat D&D.
Well, that sounds good, man. But in any event, I definitely appreciate you hanging out with us for the full 2.5 hours, dealing with the audio issues. All of that good stuff.
No problem.
But
yeah, I appreciate you guys having me.
Oh, absolutely. And anytime you want to come back, just let us know. And again, thank you for hanging out and weighing in on the topics. Thank you for displaying your work, and we look forward to seeing more of that in the future. Follow him on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, all that good noise. Follow us on Twitter, YouTube, and all of those places, and the Instagram.
And Instagram.
Church works.
Yeah, we're both on Instagram.
Yep. Well, I don't care about you. It's just me here. Didn't I mention earlier today? Didn't I mention that you were fired?
Well, yeah.
You're fired.
You're fired.
Yes. Yes. You didn't build the wall. You're fired. You got to get out of here. Not.
You build a wall.
It'll be a great one.
Glorious wall.
Big,
beautiful.
It'll be huge.
Huge.
It'll be huge.
Nobody will ever do a better Trump impression than Epic Lloyd, though. I'm sorry.
Very true.
The epic rap battles of history. That shit timeless. But anyway, I want to thank everybody in the chat. I want to thank you, Rob, Ayrton. I want to thank you, Novel Bro, for coming in. Everybody for liking, sharing, subscribing, all that nonsense. Check out Rob on all the social media. Follow his project, The Adventures of Arthur Lancaster. And until next time, which will be tomorrow at 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, unless I throw my computer and my headset out the window. We will see you guys later.
Good night, everybody.
Good night.
How dare you!